Hello, my name is Paul Henry, Security and Forensic Analyst at Lumension. Welcome to our Patch Tuesday update for September 2012. Well, is this September's Light Patch Tuesday a reflection of the maturity of Microsoft's secure coding initiatives? One can only hope. Now, some vendors scrambled with repeated emergency patches last week, just days apart, and others seem to just shrug off multiple day zero vulnerabilities. Looking at Microsoft, this may be the least disruptive Patch Tuesday I've seen in a long time, with only 2 patches, neither of which is critical nor requires a reboot. But IT administrators won't get off easy. Microsoft has by no means cornered the market on vulnerabilities, and there are plenty of other problems from other vendors to deal with this Patch Tuesday period. Now, this month's patches do not impact Microsoft's operating systems or Office applications. They deal with issues in Microsoft's development platform, Visual Studio, and System Center Configuration Manager. Let's look at the details from Microsoft. MS-12-061 is related to Team Foundation Server, which is an add-on component to Visual Studio that allows for collaborative development. The web service provided there is vulnerable to a reflected cross-site scripting vulnerability. This would only be applicable to a developer scenario and only if you have TFS installed. MS-21062 is related to SCCM. SCCM is the development server that is used in enterprises to deploy all sorts of updates, scripts, or configurations. This one is also a reflected cross-site scripting issue that is rated as important only. It does provide an escalation of privilege. This one also will not affect most users, only SCCM servers. Now, I think that with respect to Microsoft, the most important issue to consider this month will be the warning we issued to users last month that very soon Microsoft is going to be shipping the update to disable the use of certificates that are less than 1024-bit. You can read more details over at the Lumension blog, and we'll cover more details in just a moment. Now, on to more Java issues. We've already heard quite a bit about the problems Java is having this year. Most recently, it was with 2 day zero vulnerabilities and a bungled patch process from Oracle. IT has had their hands full getting the right patches out to protect their endpoints. Reportedly, these vulnerabilities were being widely exploited, and when Oracle issued their out-of-band patch, they had to issue a second patch less than 24 hours later because the first patch didn't in fact fix the problem. Java has historically had a lot of problems with vulnerabilities, and I always recommend that unless you need it for line-of-business applications, then simply don't run it. We also have some issues with HP to consider this Patch Tuesday period. It should be noted that there are currently 9 zero-day vulnerabilities in HP's enterprise products with no patch in sight. 8 of these vulnerabilities have been given the highest risk level rating, and they should be keeping IT up at night if they're using any of the affected products. We have a full list of these products over at the Lumension blog. Now, I recommend consideration of some compensating controls while we all anxiously await patches from HP to address these critical issues. Now, all this makes for an unusual Patch Tuesday this month. If you haven't already patched the Java vulnerabilities, these should be your first and highest priority, followed, of course, by the HP patches once those are made available. Now, it's an odd month where Microsoft patches are at the bottom of your list, but as I said, neither are critical, neither require reboot, and they affect just Microsoft developer tools and Microsoft System Center software, putting them pretty low in the priority list. I do want to again remind IT administrators about the advisory Microsoft issued last month regarding the 1024-bit encryption limits. As we said in last month's commentary, this could be a serious issue for a lot of companies because when it breaks your software, it breaks it in a big way. Microsoft has now released the deadline for companies to check and fix their software. It will be next month's Patch Tuesday on October 9th. Now is the time to test the patch, which can be downloaded from the Microsoft Update Center. So download it and test your systems. If it breaks, you can still uninstall that patch and have time to fix your systems before next month's patch is delivered. The deadline is fast approaching. Don't let it sneak up on you because your systems will break if you're not prepared. This has been our Patch Tuesday update for September 2012. Thank you for listening.